I think no one should be surprised by now that AI is making kids dumb. So, what do we do now? Do we just forget about it or do we evolve with it? Welcome to the Art of Learning. This is Mihira here. Today's episode is a long time coming. This dialogue around AI in education has been going on for quite a lot of time. I have purposely held on to this topic for now because I needed more information, more research, more studies, and we've gotten a lot of them. So today, let's unpack a good chunk of these studies and understand where AI is taking us within this field of education, within our lives as educators, teachers, and learners. So let me open up with this study by MIT. I think you might have heard of this quite often. Within scientific fields, particularly within physics, biology, and medicine, AI is shown to have accelerating breakthroughs. An increasing focus on high efficiency and high accuracy models have shown that AI can truly be a good research partner for humans. But how does it fare when it comes to learning? This very interesting study that looks at how your brain works on AI, also done by MIT, tries to answer that. They had three groups. One that used ChatGPT for the entire study, one who was allowed to use Google search, and one who was unaided. And they were given some tasks to do. What did they find? The group that used ChatGPT showed reduced brain connectivity and lower alpha beta wave activity. Moreover, the brain only users that were unaided showed a strong cognitive engagement. They were asked to, after all, write an essay. Now, as a second activity, they were asked to redo their essay without using any tools. So the people who used ChatGPT could not use ChatGPT. The people who used Google search could not use Google search. The unaided ones wrote it as it is. And guess what? To no one's surprise, the group that was using AI previously could not perform even close to the group that was using Google search or the group who was unaided in this study. The users of ChatGPT struggled with recall and originality. Over the 4 months that this study went on for, this cohort showed consistent underperformance. So, is AI really making us dumb? This study really should not come as a surprise to anyone. But hear me out. The way we are using AI is definitely making us dumb. When you just open up your laptop, you've given ChatGPT a prompt, making it write an essay for you. You just lose all of your creativity right then and there. Is that even fair? Does it even make sense? But this kind of phenomenon is not new. Go back a generation, you will see people complaining about calculators making kids because kids cannot do math in their head anymore. Well, times have changed. Of course, calculators have become very integral within the education sphere. But to do basic calculations, not really. I think you can still do a 2 plus 2 and come up with a 4 without a calculator in this day and age as well. But what do calculators help with? When you're given a complex math problem, those calculators help you reduce the time you take for those calculations so that you reach to your answers quickly. So, were calculators in the long run a bad thing to introduce in education? No. But when they were introduced, they were not being used properly. What we are seeing here is the exact same thing with AI. Using AI to generate an entire essay just removes the creativity from it. But if you use AI to maybe cross-check your essay, brainstorm on ideas, act as that partner that you throw ideas at and you get some feedback, and maybe use it to have a proper flow within your ideas. Maybe help you, maybe at the largest extent, help you rewrite that essay. That sounds like a good use case to me. And within the content sphere, we do that pretty often. This idea that we may have right now as this episode that I'm talking to people may get repurposed into different content forms. Using human composition and repackaging it is a very good way that you can use AI. It is not about the fact that we're using AI in the field of education, it's about how we use it. And that is where we need to change our dialogue. And now that we are building up our understanding of AI, how do we move on to applying it further when you enter the workforce? Because, of course, the exact fact that you're introducing these new tools within the workforce means that the nature of jobs will again change. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang dubs AI as a very transformative tool for learning and work because he says that AI becomes a great equalizer for the future of work, particularly in programming. As a use case, he mentions using natural language, the language that you and I speak, using that to a computer to help it understand what you need when it comes to coding. This job was previously done using programming languages because, of course, we can't speak zeros and ones. But those programming languages can convert what we want to say into those zeros and ones. And now AI can do that for you with the way that you're speaking to me, to others currently. And moreover, the idea of using AI agents to automate specific tasks with models that are trained to do one task extremely efficiently is game changing. What does that do that makes humans the creative brain, while the arms, the legs, the physical aspects of doing those tasks can be automated, can be taken up by machines? Sounds dystopian. It is dystopian. I wouldn't be kidding myself. But as it stands, currently in this day and age, it allows you to explore your creativity, create newly, and see it flourish with less efforts, less time, and more efficiency. Of course, the fields of digital marketing and programming and computer engineering as a whole have experienced this change firsthand, but I'm sure every single field, maybe by the end of 2030, will see the usage of AI and the impact of AI transforming the way we work and we learn. So now, to reach that future, what do we really need? Do we need the same kind of education that has been going on for the past 70, 80 years? I don't think so. The highest priority skill and knowledge that we need is the understanding of how to use AI, what we dub as AI literacy. Within all the circles of the tech field that we see, almost everyone insists on understanding the nature of AI and how to use it. As educators, we wish to foster creativity. And at the end of the day, our job is to prime our learners to take up these different career paths for themselves as they go ahead, transforming the workforce. So now, when AI does all of the manual labor and leaves all of the creativity to us, why not foster this creative mindset from the get-go? Teach students how to create and teach students how to learn from the ground up, from first principles, because AI can do the rest. As a simple example, say if I have to conduct research and I have to go through, say, 7,000, 8,000 papers, now I can have machine learning algorithms created to go through all those papers, extract the exact data that I want for my understanding, transfer it to a different model, which can summarize all of it in a particular format that I want, so that when I am sitting here and trying to understand my data, it becomes easier for me. So instead of me spending months together, sifting through the data by myself, seeing what's there, I can just have it happen in a couple of days. Streamlines my work, simplifies my work. Say if I now have to create educational content, I can have a particular format, the way I teach, in very distinct, clear terminology, so that now AI can take up the knowledge that I have given it about my teaching style, about the way my learners learn, and create content in the exact way that I instruct it to do. I don't have to sit and create the content. I just have to instruct it to do. So see, things are changing. And I want all of my learners and all of the learners around the world to get up to speed with what's upcoming. That was my intention for this episode. So as educators, your takeaway is simple. Understand what's happening around you. Understand the changes that are not just present now in 2025, but what will be the changes that might come up in 2030, and act accordingly. As parents, don't be afraid of letting your child explore all of this. Support them, understand what they're trying to explore. And learners, ask, learn, explore. You have everything in your hands. You just need to do it. So, my take on AI within the field of education, it can be transformative unless and until we know that we are using AI in the best possible manner. I cannot comment on whether it's a correct manner or a wrong manner. That is not for me to do. But the potential that AI has and the potential that it can bring out of us as learners, parents, teachers, we must make the most of it. With this thought, I'll see you the next time. Thank you and happy learning.